practice 13-3 of finitizing PDB services to CDB instances. And in this practice, we have a couple of tasks. The task 1 of finitize connections to PDB1 to all the CDB instances. So that's what the first thing what we're going to check. And your server pool configuration look like this: free, generic, CDB1 pool. And also, as you can see, CDB1 pool, its maximum server that is allowed is 3. That's what we reviewed in the previous practice activity. And let's check non-default services. So in this environment, there is no non-default services, meaning that, and this database only has default services, and those are not managed by Oracle Clusterware. And also, when you run srvctl configure service command, there's no dynamic services or non-default services. So we want to create dynamic PDB service for PDB1 for this testing purpose. And we're going to create service for PDB1. And service name is my PDB1 service. And cardinality is uniform. And then we're going to check configuration. Okay, so when you look at this configuration, you see the service name and server pool and uniform, and this is automatically managed by Oracle Clusterware. And you have many other attribute information as well. And also, we have a session state consistency dynamic, and also retention time, and also more information is available here. And then we're going to connect to host 02. And let me set Oracle Home. And then let's check service configuration from CDB1 database. And I have the same information here. So service name is the same, and it is a uniform cardinality. And also automatic. Clusterware automatically manages dynamic service. And I'm going to connect to host 03. And I will use the .ora env cdb1_1 and set Oracle Home. And I will check service configuration again from CDB1 database. So I have a service name, my PDB1 service, CDB1 pool, uniform. That's what you can see. And it is to connect to PDB1. And we're going to actually close PDB. I have to log in as sysdba. So that's part of the instruction. SQL Plus as sysdba. And then let's close PDB1 from all instances, meaning that make this PDB database invisible to all these the instances. So when you check open mode, so you can type show PDB as an option. PDB1 database is now mounted. And I will exit out. And I will restart CDB database this time. Now, here's one interesting testing. After you create PDB database, when you restart CDB database, at open state, the root container will be available. However, other pluggable databases will be mount to state. So, at instance startup time, you will have to manually open pluggable databases. But what if you create a dynamic service for PDB and you restart CDB instance, and what will happen? That's what we are testing here. And before starting, let's check with the evaluation. So I'm going to execute srvctl start database, and with the eval. Do not execute this command, just give me evaluation. So according to this, database CDB1 will be started on node host 03, host 02, host 01, and service will be available as well. But it didn't say whether pluggable database will be available or not, so I'm going to test. So I'm going to actually start CDB database, and then we're going to check status. And then let me check status now. So all instances should be up and running. So now, as you can see, instance 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, all three instances are up and running. What about service? And service is also up and running. Does that mean I can connect to pluggable database now? Because this is component of PDB1 database. So let me log in as a sysdba, and I can type show PDBs. Look at this, PDB1 is automatically started. What made it possible? We created a non-default service, which is a dynamic service for PDB. So at instance startup time, clusterware attempted to start service, but service had required a resource, which is a pluggable database. So clusterware automatically opened PDB1 to make service available. Okay, so that is a clusterware management. So you can automatically start service the pluggable database in this way. So my service, my PDB1 service is available. So in order to start this service, clusterware had to start PDB1 database automatically. So even though PDB2 is a mount to state, PDB1 is a read-write open mode. And I'm going to stop this service now. And I will verify this service status. And it's not running. And then I will start this again. Okay, so I restarted the service. And the service location should be all three instances. Here we go. And then you can check listener status. Since we restarted the service, and listener should understand this. Look at this. So my service understand, my listener understand service that will be available across all three instances. But since it is a local listener, it's only showing you service availability on the local instance. And then we're going to test connection. By using this service, I was able to connect. Since I'm in the PDB, I cannot run a show PDB command. So I will use a $view. PDB1 is now open read write. So I was able to connect. I can also connect to second instance and third instance because we made this service available across 3 instances. Okay, so I was able to connect. So now we have a second task in this practice. So now we're going to actually create service for PDB2. But we want to make a service available only one of the instances. So, as you expected, when you restart instances of a database, only one of the instances will make a PDB database available because we're going to start a service only one of the instances. So this time, we're going to create service for PDB2. And its cardinality is a singleton. I'm going to start now. You can actually check, evaluate, you can run evaluation command to evaluate before run it. So according to this service will be started on node host 1. So I started, and I'm going to check status. And I'm going to log in with a connect string here. Okay, I was able to connect. And PDB2 is open read write mode, and service will be available. And then let's test with this connect string. Is it possible to connect in this way? Think about that. Did you create uniform based service in the server pool? No. This time we started a singleton. We created a singleton service and started a singleton service. So since we were able to make connection to the host 1 instance running on host 1, we are assuming that this service is only available in the host 1 instance. So when you attempt to connect to instance running on host 2, this will fail because service doesn't exist. Okay, makes sense. What about host 3? No, it's because your singleton service is running on host 1 instance. And then we're gonna connect to host 2 with a net service with the service name CDB1, and this is to connect to root container. And then you can type show PDBs. Okay, not PDB. I'm gonna run it again. So PDB2 is a mount to state, and same thing, host 3. So as you can see, you can actually test it in this way. You create singleton service, and also when you restart instance, and service will be available only in one of the instances. And so clusterware manages this singleton service, and to manage this service, when needed, clusterware check status of a PDB and automatically restart. So we tested 2 things. We created a uniform based the service, and the second example is singleton service. When you created a dynamic service with a uniform cardinality, we were able to start all of the instances when you restart database instance. Okay, so you could actually open all PDBs across all 3 instances. So that is as a result of starting dynamic service. And Worker cluster where headed to start dynamic service. To do so, require the resource must be online, and require the resource was PDB. And the second task was we created a singleton service. So this service only available to one of the instances. So when you restart CDB instance, and your PDB only visible to one, your PDB only open in the location where service is running, and all the other instances, we cannot access through other instances because the service is not service doesn't exist. So that's what we tested, and this is a practice 13-3.